Welcome back to the battlefield. Picking up, as always, where we left off with our Scotland campaign, our quest for freedom. My microphone is giving me some feedback into my own face, so let me move that a little bit. Anyway, picking up where we left off, we have just defeated one of the Iceni armies on the borders of our territory here in Uliobona. We've sent one army back to recuperate, and we are moving forward with our secondary and tertiary forces. Now, this army is being commanded by Catamantalides, and he doesn't really have a lot of skills specific to being a general. He has several skills more focused on being like a city governor, and what I want to do is actually... So that's this guy here. Since he's the leader of a different political faction, I actually want to swap him out for Abelios. Now, real quick, let's see what household members we can give to this fine young man. The Gallic Bard would be really nice. The Wise Fisherman would be kind of useless. Replenishment rate for units would be great, so let's go with that. Weapon damage inflicted by all army units, and battles against 8% morale during battles against barbarian tribes. That sounds good to me. So Abelios is going to have a new set of household members. That is a 4% income, or 4% tariff income from trade agreements, but I thought I saw one of these that had something higher. 8% wealth from commerce and improved tax rate. I think that gets applied while he is in a settlement. So let's send him back to our capital by replacing him in this army. So let's replace, find Abelios, hire him. We will of course go with the Caledonian Noble Cavalry, because we don't have access to very good cavalry just yet, so any additions we can get are pretty much necessary at this point. And then I believe that's all we can really do from a military standpoint. Our agents are probably still all deployed just as they should be, so there's nothing to be concerned about that. We'll leave the spy here to keep an eye on the Iceni. Our friends to the south are recruiting forces rapidly. That's what we like to see. Hopefully they can grow up to be a fairly strong city-state of sorts, even though they're more of just a tribe than a city-state. Now, down here in the province of Gallia, it might be nice to get some increased public order. I actually might want to swap this out as well, at least in the long run. But what I think is more important is making our cities more defensible, and so improving the garrison and recruitment capacities are a really good idea. Upgrading the city itself will burn through the majority of our supplies, or our supplies of our treasury, but since we are positive on income without a boosted tax rate, I feel comfortable doing that. We're also getting some sword masters here. That's good to see. I like sword masters. It's nice to have some shock infantry. Alright, and I believe that's all we can do for our economy, besides doing a quick glance around to see if anyone else wants to trade. I don't even know who else we could trade with. The Lusitani. Yeah, maybe it would be good to get trade with them, but it looks like they are not interested. Out of curiosity, why do they hate us? Cultural aversion, mostly. Alright, so it is what it is. Let's go ahead and just jump on to the next turn. Now I do want to add that I am preparing another campaign. I've been playing the first couple of episodes just to kind of see how it goes. I'm getting them recorded and uploaded so that I have a good baseline to start off with, so I can hopefully keep the campaign a little bit more consistent, but that's probably not going to release for some time. Anyway, the reason I'm saying this is because I've been playing around with different ways of presenting the campaign itself, instead of just doing direct commentary over gameplay like I typically have done in the past. With that campaign, I have been kind of just editing back and forth between the important events of the campaign and then doing a little bit more cinematic shots and battles and things like that. I might move that direction with this campaign, but if I do, I won't be doing it immediately. Alright, now over here, it would be really nice if we could get some extra replenishment. We also don't have a ton of movement range, so I don't want to launch a siege here because that will probably take all three of our armies. And all three of our armies are not at full strength right now. So I'm a little bit hesitant to launch into there. We have a little bit more replenishment to do. So what I think I'm going to do is pop across the border so that we are drawing supplies from their region instead of ours, do some raiding to increase our income. Because one of the problems we're going to have is we will run out of supplies in this region very soon. I'm hoping that the fishermen's huts helps with that. And then I would do the same with this army, but it also needs replenishment, so I'm just going to move up to the border here and patrol, or not patrol, fortify. You know what, maybe I'll ambush. I feel like if I do that, the ambush isn't going to work, so yeah, let's just fortify with this army. If they decide they want to attack us, that's fine. If they decide they don't want to, that is almost better. Alright, now the other thing we need to be concerned about is the Carnutes faction to our south-southeast is sitting on our border. They aren't directly hostile right now, but the peace between our tribes is tentative at best. So I am hesitant to walk away from my port settlement anytime soon. Since that is the case, and it'll take 3 turns to replenish, I think I'll actually drop this army into the garrison and boost it up to 2 turns to replenish. I will probably start research on the cupellation furnace, but it might not be a bad idea to start working a little bit closer towards getting siege equipment. Oh, you know what? I actually can already get siege equipment. I just need the copper resource. And I don't remember offhand where copper is over here. I know there's a copper settlement down here. Oh, there's one right there. Okay, so the Rugos. Can we get any kind of diplomacy with the Rugos? We don't even know they exist yet, technically. Let's do this. Let's raise a fleet real quick. It's a little bit expensive, but let's raise a fleet and send them over here. Oh, you know what? They don't even have a port settlement. Shoot. Alright, well, that was a huge waste of money. What we'll do instead is just send this guy off to do a little bit of exploring, I guess. We can always disband him and bring him back in 2 turns if we need to. Alright, I think that's all we're going to do this turn. We don't really have any money to do anything else. We could technically upgrade this to the Lore Master's Hut. I would rather upgrade that to something that boosts our finances a bit more, instead of just our research. But obviously we don't have the money for that. Anyway, back to research. Let's see what sounds interesting. Yeah, let's go ahead and get the Cupellation Furnace, get the extra 2% Empire Maintenance reduction, and move on to the next turn. I'm kind of hoping the Iceni decide to attack us. Maybe I should have gone into the ambush stance just to try and bait out an attack. Just because otherwise what we're going to have to do is a protracted siege. And I don't really want to spend a lot of time sieging. Oh, come on. Alright, so the Arverni, it looks like they just did one successful action against that army, and they might have gotten a second successful action, so we'll have to see what exactly they did to hinder us over there. Alright, well, here we go. Here's the battle we were looking for. And for some reason they did send both armies. I thought they only sent one army, and I was very, very confused. And actually, they attacked the army that is in the fort, which is a little weird. Alright, so what are we up against? 1, 2, 3 cavalry, a bunch of skirmishers, 4, 5 cavalry. But they have medium cav, and we don't. Alright, well, it's going to be a tough battle. We're going to take heavy losses here, but if we can win and then hunt down a lot of their units, that will severely weaken them. I think we'll be able to recover faster and then move and take their final settlement. I am tempted to just charge out of the fortifications and not even use them at all, but we will see. What I also might do is just hold a position just outside of the fortifications. Because let's see, the towers, if we hold right in one of the entrances, then all 4 of the towers can fire on the enemy army. And that's just a lot of extra damage for free. If our reinforcing army is coming from over here, that means I think their reinforcing army is going to come from, like, this direction. So I might even just charge out of the fortification and see if I can trap that army. Get a quick 2v1 army battle over there, and then... Yeah, you know what? It's a little bit different than what I would normally ever even consider in a fortification battle, but let's give it a shot. So we'll have a front line of spearmen flanked on either side by our axemen. Let the ambushers play our reserve force. Let the cavalry defend either flank. Throw the archers in the center. And you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and throw down some stakes just to see if the AI will run into them anyway? I don't know if that'll do anything, but it's worth a shot. You never know. If they decide to take over the fort, I think this is just a capture point, so yeah, it's just a morale bonus. It doesn't matter if we lose that. Let's move over here and wait and see where their reinforcements come from.
Our reinforcements have arrived.
Alright, perfect. The reinforcements are immediately next to us. It looks like we actually might get double teamed here, so maybe this was a really bad idea. Start running our reinforcements over here as quick as possible. Get the cavalry split up and ready to eliminate these guys.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
Make sure all of the reinforcements are on their way. Alright, let's get in there. If If we can, we would like to prevent them from even getting a charge bonus, but it looks like they were intelligent enough to turn and face us. Send some ambushers over here to help out. It would be good if we could get some spears over there, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
We have discovered the enemy's hidden
Our
units.
supporting infantry are using javelins, which actually is probably a bad idea. Let's take them all off of fire at will for the time being. Oh no! Why does the game do this to me? I give a move order and all of a sudden my guys are like, let's run across the map. I hate that so bad. Okay, they have some reinforcing cavalry coming around towards our flank, so we will need to try and intercept them. We also want to fight away from the arrow towers because it looks like they are going to move to take the fort. Alright, let's fix this nonsense that keeps happening like every time I play a battle. Okay, we'll keep a couple of guys on the flank. Archers, you need to turn around as well. Oh, we're not getting a charge bonus there. That's bad news. Okay, we need more bodies in the cavalry fight as soon as we can get them.
The men are wavering.
Yep, that's okay. As long as they don't shatter, it's okay if they waver a little bit. Let's give them a nice little rally. Okay, the archers are set up. Start hitting their skirmishers. Now we need to pull the cavalry out of these engagements because it's not a winning engagement. Let the infantry do as much of this fighting as they can. Our reinforcements are still some distance away. Alright, we've got our cavalry on this side back in the fight. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt pretty bad, too. Alright, too much micromanagement for me. Okay, so far it's looking like I definitely should have stayed in the fort because now they're getting a 2v1 on me instead of the other way around like I wanted.
One of our units has used all its
How
ammunition.
are the archers doing? I forgot to put them on guard mode, so they have entered the melee, which is obviously bad. Looks like we are starting to win the cavalry fight. And quite handily. Okay, these guys are in trouble, so we need to get some reinforcements over there.
Used all its ammunition.
Everyone over here may fire at will. What unit do I have selected that doesn't have that? Okay. You go ahead and inspire.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Pull the cavalry back. Okay, the ambushers are going to get basically completely annihilated in this battle. The baggage train can come over here. I don't want to set them in a wide formation because they'll move slower though.
Our men flee the field.
Okay, this is like the worst fought battle ever. We're not getting the cavalry involved either, which is obviously a bad thing. Let's try and reform a little bit of a front line over here. A bunch of our guys are routing, so we'd probably need to keep the general over here to help out with morale. Try and give a charge bonus here. Looks like our guys might be doing okay on the front line.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Cavalry, get ready to get involved. Okay, they did not capture any of the towers, which will work to our advantage here. It's not going to do a lot, but it'll do a little, and every little bit counts right now. I'm really wishing the War Dogs were faster, because I would love to have them in this fight. Let's get the general over here and have him inspire the men, because we definitely need that right now. By the time half of our guys get here, they're just going to be too exhausted to fight effectively anyway. Okay, doing alright here. These units are going to get absolutely smashed. Okay, let's have the general inspire. Try and get some cavalry out here. Whoa.
Our men flee the field
Yep,
of
the men
battle.
flee the field of battle. That's okay. Shameful, but not surprising, given my current level of micro. Okay, that's 2 of my cavalry units gone. I think that was the mercenary cav, though, so I'm not overly concerned about them
One of our
anyway.
units has used all its ammunition.
Why are these guys so slow? Alright. Time to start moving the rest of our troops into the action. Pretty much all of our units on the front line are losing, but our secondary army is arriving now, so hopefully we can start to swing things back in our favor. Okay, we're just going to give a charge order for one of the units of War Dogs right now, just to try and get them in the fight. Got a bunch of spears and other units back here that are still trying to get up to the front.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Alright, we did get some sword masters involved, but we need to pull them out and try and use them as shock infantry where possible. Alright, one of the War Dogs is going to town. We'll send the other one in as well.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
These guys are starting to turn their fight around, but we're losing over here, so let's try and get a unit through the center. Alright, our boys are doing okay. Where's my secondary general? I kind of need to make sure he doesn't die. Okay, sword masters, where are you? Start moving around this flank. Alright, our cavalry has won a couple of its battles. These guys are going to rout if I send them in right now, so let's just bring them over here a little bit. Have these guys already released their dogs? They have. Okay.
This is a shameful display.
Our axes in the center finally broke, so let's send in the next unit. Really need to get reinforcements over here. This general is still winning decisively somehow. I don't really know how, but it's time for him to pull out anyway.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Alright, well, we are going to win, but at such a great cost that it's not really worth winning. Pyrrhus would be proud. Send these guys after their missile units just to try and get them off the field.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Let's get the general up to the front line and have him inspire the troops again. Give out some blob attack orders. Try and let our light units chase down their medium and heavy units. Oh, this would be interesting. One, I don't know why my guys over here... you know what? We've got War Dogs. Just let the cavalry get out of there. Alright. Inspire the men one final time. Hooey, I was not ready for a battle like this, holy cow. That was very, very bad. Half of my units didn't even get involved in the fight either. Let's see, who took the most damage? The cavalry. Some of the infantry did alright. Some of them got smashed and ran away, which is fine. You know, you would expect that of this kind of battle. Alright, what I think we're going to do here is probably just fast forward and let our guys, mostly our war dogs, run down as much as they can. Tell units to not use their javelins or anything, so we don't want any friendly fire to finish this out. We are still going to get a little bit of friendly fire from the towers, but that is a negligible amount, so I'm not really worried about that. The war dogs are actually moving together, which is weird, but unfortunately they're chasing a unit that is mostly dead and is totally isolated from the rest of the retreating enemy, so kind of useless to chase them. Usually I let the war dogs end up getting a lot of kills after the fact, but I guess not as much this time. Alright, well, we took pretty heavy losses on our first army. The second army looks like it's pretty much untouched. So if our reserve army that's back recuperating can now be swapped out with our first army here, we should be able to probably push forward and take out their last city. It says it was decisive, but it could have been way more decisive than that. Like, that was that was bad. Their swordmasters got a lot of kills. I'm impressed at some of these spears, though. Look at that. 300, 200 kills on spear units. That's pretty dang good. Our axemen, even our axemen that got absolutely smashed, did well for themselves. The ambushers did great, except for the ones that were doing frontline fighting. So no surprises that they got beat up and didn't really accomplish much. But the rest of them did phenomenally. I'm curious to see what the war dogs did. Swordmasters didn't do a whole lot, but then again I pulled them out of the combat pretty early. Yeah, war dogs are extremely good. They're very, very strong units. And we almost entirely wiped out the first army and pretty much decimated the second army, so we should be good to go for launching the attack. Unfortunately, our first army doesn't get any replenishment over the end turn because they are in enemy territory, but at least they'll bring in a little bit of extra cash. But what this means is we can bring this army back here out of reserve, and probably in about 2 turns we'll be up to the city. And then this army can come back and heal. This army can move forward and lay siege.
Your men will turn
we don't want to join that war right now, because I don't need more trouble to the south. Not when I'm about to finally get rid of the Iceni. Alright, so they are smashed up. This army, I got it backwards. I forgot that they attacked this army instead. So we will swap these armies out. Unfortunately, it looks like we did not get any replenishment. Oh, I hate when they do that. Looks like we did not manage to get any replenishment, but this army is totally healthy. We can go begin the siege, bring up some reinforcements, and to be perfectly honest with you, I think I'm just going to auto-resolve that. just to get rid of the Iceni. Yeah, 71% of our force remaining. Let's see what happens. First army's fine, second army got decimated. Ooh, second army took a lot of damage there. Alright. Let's go ahead and just take that. We could use the food. And does that get rid of the Iceni? It does not, because they still have another city. Oh my goodness. I thought we were done with these fools. Alright, what kind of mercenaries can we get? We can get some mercenary spear band and some mercenary medium cav, so let's definitely do that. This is part of why I wanted to get so many axemen, as I knew we would be needing to merge them out soon. So let's go ahead and do that now. Merge out the axemen, let these guys merge as well. I'll probably just drop that unit, but we'll see. I want to keep the sword masters as long as I can, though. And then we'll pick up 2 units of cavalry, just because they're really, really expensive. We should be able to pick up a couple of units of just like levy garbage here as well. So let's spend some money on that just for the manpower. And then back over here, we are regrouping to take on the rolling menhirs. Now it's possible that they could launch an attack right now, and given the state that this army is in, that would actually be pretty dangerous. So let me merge up a couple of these units, and then pick up some mercenaries is what I think the smart play would be here. Are cav mercenaries going to be that useful? They only have 2 skirmishers, and then they've got a lot of medium, 3 skirmishers, and then a lot of medium units, so I'm not entirely sure that the cav mercenaries would be worth it. But let's just go for it, whatever. And I should have actually looted this settlement. I got it mixed up in my head that it was part of the province of Gallia, but it is not. Alright, well, our allies to the south have declared war on the Vivisi, which is very bad because it means they will probably soon declare war on us. But it is what it is. We have managed to take the major stronghold of the Iceni, and we are pushing on what I hope is finally their last settlement. I doubt they have any more. And then we can start to move against the Arverni and clean up some of these wars a little bit, hopefully. I would like to move to our west, capture the settlement of Alabu so we can get the copper resource, but that might not be the best play just yet. Anyway, I think that's all for this turn. Let me just double check, make sure loyalty looks fine. Go ahead and... Oh, you know what? I was going to send my admiral out and around, but the Iceni do still have a fleet here that they could take him out, so let's just disband him. That was a waste of 1,000 gold, but it was a good idea at least. Okay. Looks like that's all for the minor details. Can we get trade anywhere? We might offer them a little bit of money for trade because I really, really need some trade agreements right now. That's not the button I wanted. It's definitely the button I pushed, but it is not the button I wanted. I doubt the Lusitani want to trade yet. Alright, so no trade agreements just yet. Maybe we can get trade out of the Aravaci if we throw some gold along with it. I guess not. Alright, well, we're going to call that good for this episode. As always, I hope you guys enjoy, and we will catch you in the next one.